Hey, welcome back to Growing with the Greens. I know you guys have missed us. We've been gone for a few weeks.
Long.
But life kind of took over. And,
a little bit. Beginning of the year.
Beginning of the year really kind of got us.
Yeah.
But, we back. We're getting ourselves back. We have a special guest with us today, which makes us really excited. So we figured you guys haven't seen us in a few weeks, so let us bring on somebody special.
Yes.
So we did promise you guys that part 2 of our series on healthy, positive relationships.
Yes, and building
those relationships. So, so we have my mother here with us today. We have
Cindy.
Mama Cindy. We call her Mama Cindy. Her name is Cynthia Green. Yes. We're happy to have her sitting at the table with us today to give us just, some words and experiences that she's gone through with her wise self. We thought that it would be a great, first experience to have a special guest on, no other than my mother, because she has so much wisdom. Just when we sit around and have conversations,
definitely.
With all three of us, the conversations that we have are always so enlightening and stuff. So we was like, especially because last show I was talking about how she is one of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I said it to the world. So So this is her. This is Cynthia Green, which we call as Mama Cindy. So we're gonna let her, tell us a little bit about herself in a snippet. Just a little snippet so you guys know who you're talking to. So welcome to the show.
All right, thank you guys. I am Janae's mother, Cynthia Green, and I'm Tanya's mother-in-law. That's my love baby.
Oh.
I appreciate them having me here. They are my friends as we've grown older together because they bypassed me.
We ain't gonna tell y'all her age.
I don't mind telling my age.
She's 70 years young. But we bypassed her. She's gonna be 71 at the end of this month. Actually, it's her birthday month.
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, Aries. Yeah. So, we really wanted you to be on the show because I talked a lot about growing up and how in the Black culture we kind of talked about how mothers growing up was always telling their kids like, I'm not your friend, I'm your mother type of thing. But how that kind of changed as I became an adult and kind of the friendship that we've come to find ourselves in and some of the boundaries that we've had to set up with one another over the past years and just the experiences that we both have shared throughout the years, and just kind of how you've always been my number one supporter. And that gave me the confidence to, kind of go out and have different relationships with different people. It kind of stemmed off from having the growing relationship with you first.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the beginning, of course, you're my child. Right. And no, we cannot be friends because there has to be boundaries.
So it starts with boundaries.
It starts with boundaries. Yeah. As a kid, it starts with boundaries, and we have to uphold those and keep those as we continue to grow. And so, as growing up, if you were my friend, then that means that you didn't know your place and that you didn't have to have the respect that a parent needs to have to put those boundaries together.
Right.
I didn't think about it that way.
Oh, yeah. Because being friends means that I don't have to listen to you. Right. You're not the boss of me.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's mutual.
Yeah,
because friendship is mutual. It's not like someone's higher than the other in any type of relationship.
And we have to know our places in order even to gain the respect that is needed to have the boundaries.
For sure.
Because they always come up, why I got to do this and why I have to do that. It's not because I tell you, it's because that's your place.
Right.
Okay.
And we each have to know our place in relationship.
Yeah. And I guess that's universal too, not only in families, but also in a workplace. I'm your boss. I'm not your friend, right? Because we need to have that little barrier that the respect then comes from that.
Yeah.
As we grow, and especially from each perspective, from a child, toddler, birth, toddler, teenagers, and moving on, there's different relationships in each age.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Because as a baby, you're definitely dependent upon me. Even though nowadays you see a difference that the kids can tell you what to do.
Instead of that's a whole nother series right there about these kids growing up, especially us being in education. But another story.
Yeah, definitely.
So you really have to establish who you are coming up to the teenage years, because those are the adolescent years, are the years that are very hard. Because the child is really trying to find out where do they fit in and where do they belong and what is this relationship, and then they're opening up to different relationships as they continue to grow in grace.
How was it with Janae growing up in her toddler years?
I don't remember my toddler years.
I do.
How was I as a toddler?
You was good. You good because of who I was. Because and your father. We had to have those boundaries for sure. Oh yeah,
as a teen.
As a teen, you were trying. As a teen, you was trying, but I wasn't the one.
I was trying, but she don't know who I was trying.
I don't know.
I wasn't trying her.
I wasn't trying her.
Shoot.
Because you gotta put it in.
We didn't like each other when I was a teenager. I don't feel like we bumped heads a lot when I was a teen. I was a daddy's girl also. So there was a lot of things I just ran to my father about, and like I feel like now growing up as being an adult, I think those things happen because I'm very similar to my mother. We have very similar personalities. So it was a pull and tug because even though she told me she wasn't my friend, like we were friendly at times, but then it would have to pull back and be like, hold on, but you're not. Because I always knew that I always was on that borderline boundary line, and that's still me as an adult now. Even with some of my relationships now, I'm always on the borderline of crossing it. And that it started off as being a teen with my mom. It was like, I'm gonna see how far she's gonna let me go with this. And then she'd be like, oh, nah, you ain't going that far, sis. You ain't doing that. And that did start showing me the boundaries, and I didn't understand until I became an adult. It was like because I thought we were at times right here because our personalities were so similar. But it had to be a breakdown in order for me to be led, because I couldn't continue to think that we was on the same level, because who was going to lead me? She wasn't going to be able to lead me in that way.
But I also love how hearing a lot of your stories, both of you, and how life has transpired between both of you. A lot of things, it's amazing to see how the perspective changes as you are from a youth to now an adult, right?
Yes.
You have many beliefs of how things were. And then when you become an adult, you then realize,
it's changed.
I know why my mom did that. I know why this did, right? But before you might think, oh, my mom doesn't like me. My mom doesn't, and it's just now how those things transpire as you become an adult. It's just very interesting to see that.
It opens things up.
And as an adult, I can trust you to continue to let me learn of the now time. Because I never wanted to get stuck and used to be further back there, so I can see it in a different perspective through your eyes. As you can see my wisdom I'm going to have some of that. I'm gonna, and that's the relationship. I'm more of your friend now because we can talk about things that we couldn't talk about at that time.
And that's what Tanya and I talked about before too. That there's more of a mutual respect. In the sense of I could share certain things with you that if I would have shared back then, it would have been appropriate to share that type of stuff with your mother. But now, because we are growing to have a relationship outside, and that's also a thing we were talking about last episode, was that you could have relationships that are multifunctional, because like the relationship that we have is multifunctional because you're my mother, number one. You are my friend, secondly. You are my my inspiration. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that you withhold. And when we find relationships, and it doesn't even have to be a mother-daughter, but like you said, you brought up workplace relationship. Sometimes even that, it could be multifaceted because that's your boss, that's your leader who is guiding you to do different things, and we don't have to agree on certain things for me to have to follow you to do my job.
That's right.
You know, but then again, in another facet of things, of us still being co-workers and still having to work together in some type of way, you know, so relationships definitely can be functional, multifunctional relationships.
But I think the difference now when you become an adult, right, and you have these relationships as adults, is that no matter what, you have a choice to stay in it or not to stay in it, to remove yourself. So, for instance, I'm sure there's things that you don't agree that Janae does, and vice versa, right? We can have a conversation, but now it's your choice if you want to take it or not, and it's your choice if you want to be in that space with that decision, right?
Because now it becomes an opinion and not a demand.
Right. You know. But as my mother, I'm gonna listen to you because you have that wisdom. I'm gonna say keep to that as well. Yeah.
You know, as Janae was growing up, I used to call her all the time, Mama.
Yeah, you still do.
I do now. It's okay because I learned from you now also. But I remember a pastor used to say, don't call her that because she's going to think she's that and try to tell you what to do. And she did, of course, at that young age. You know, she's going to, because everything a mother does, children see it as not being right. You know, but you have to, like you had mentioned earlier, that as you grow older, you could understand why certain things went a certain way. You know, at a certain time.
So I have a question for you. Like, within your 70 years, like, you've done a lot, you've seen a lot, you've gone on a lot of different journeys, right? But like, so like, I'm really curious because like in the relationship sense, right? Now that you are a seasoned woman and that you are retired, how has your relationship changed from when you were in your earlier years as in now in your, you know, seasoned years?
I understand that I don't know everything. In my earlier years, I thought I knew more than I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I can look at different perspectives of the same thing, have 3 or 4 perspectives until it comes into being my own.
Okay.
With my own, because we have to have a relationship with ourselves.
That's where it stems from.
It stems from ourselves, but we have to learn that. That you need a relationship with yourself because as you're growing to get into your seasoned years, you think that you've done so much and you learned so much that you know everything, and that's not it. It's okay to learn who your authentic self is, but it takes time, and you got to slow down sometime. Just as Janae and Tanya, you guys teach me a lot of things that I never thought of being at my seasoned age. It gives me something to meditate upon, you know, and say, oh, whoa, okay. And I'm appreciative of that. But at one time in my life, there's no way that I could listen to you guys because you are younger. You know, our relationship is I'm still the mama. You still ain't my friend. But becoming my friend, I can have that with you. You know, looking at
that's interesting. So I'm wondering, how did you get to that place of, you know, I know everything to then actually maybe I can learn a little bit more from people?
From the place of I know everything is that when you think of things, it's like, oh yeah, I know that better than you. You learned that from being a child. You know, I used to take care of kids, and it would always amaze me that kids would always think they know more than me. Your own children too, also. You know, because that's what you think. You know, you're reading books and you're looking at TV, and you know. And the way that people do things is not the way you would do it because you know best in your own mind. You know?
And that's culturally too, right?
Yeah.
That's where it also stems from, that belief, you know. You're a child, you don't really have that experience as I do, so like, how are you going to tell me type thing?
But when you're a child, if you think about it, because you guys can talk about that, is that when you look at it, she don't know what she's talking about. That's where you stem that point of I know and you don't know. You know, because you're looking at like I'm older, so that's old fashioned stuff. That's old school. You know, you ain't up to date on stuff. You know. But as you, and that makes you think that you know more than your parent or the other. everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, you think you know more than your boss.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Like, who you are now, what relation is there relationships in the past that you just know that you wouldn't have entertained if you know what you knew now?
Well, I've come to a place and in my season thinking is that every relationship I've had helped me be who I am now.
Oof.
So I needed everything that I have gone through.
Yes.
Good or bad. If it was bad, it helped push me through. If it was good, it pushed me through. But it helped me become who I am now.
Yeah.
But because of the relationships that I have now and the ones that I'm still gaining is going to continue to push me forward to who I will be. So I'm becoming. That's where I'm becoming is always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Like
so I
that.
guess that's a really great way to put it. So what have you learned then from those past, relationships that you've had? What are some like foundational things that you've learned in the relationships that went right, went wrong, but you still learned from them? What are maybe something?
I'm a very loud person. And I had to learn from certain people how to be quiet. I don't have to have an opinion on everything.
Yeah.
I don't have to speak about everything. And my biggest relationship that I have is with Christ. And his leadership abilities have helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't take time to listen to anybody else. And that's the only way that we can grow from each other in relationships is to try to look at it in a different at their perspective. Like children, you have to be able to look at things from a child's point of view to talk to that child.
Oh, yeah, get in their level.
Get at their level, even with adults. You're a married couple now, and that's the way that my relationship with my daughter, I have to move back from it because you're not just a girlfriend no more.
Right.
You're her wife. My opinions on those things does not have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
That's not my relationship with you. My relationship with you is you my love child.
Yeah.
You're not my wife, but you're my love child.
Right.
My relationship with you is that you're my adult child, but you're also my friend, and I have no place in that relationships of telling you what to do or anything like that. I had to learn my place in my relationship.
Okay.
This was something that we talked about in Bible study a couple of days ago, is that in order to be a leader, you have to train to be a leader. You have to train to be a follower also.
Ooh.
So I had to train to step back.
Okay.
In relationship.
Yeah.
I had to train to do that. It doesn't come over. It just doesn't come to you. You got to practice those things. You got to practice relationship.
Right.
Absolutely.
You got to that. I think that was the key right there. You have to practice being in a relationship.
Yeah.
In whatever type of relationship it is, you have to practice it. And you have to be in that relationship with the willing participant that also wants to practice it.
Yes.
Because if it's not on both ends, then it won't be successful, because then you will have to step into that leadership position when leadership position has no place in a relationship.
Yes. There it is.
That's what it was. That's what it was right here. That was a perfect way to just kind of end like this segment on building healthy, positive relationships. Like, you have to step back sometime from being the leader, because there's no lead in a relationship.
Right.
In any relationship, you have to learn from it, and that's where it comes right in full circle about the respect, the mutual respect that you have, the boundaries,
getting to know yourself. Yeah.
And that's where it stemmed from. Even Cindy has said it. Number one, she had to know herself.
That's relationship.
That's the first relationship before you could positively or healthily be inside of any type of relationship.
Absolutely.
So that was great. We definitely appreciate you coming and dropping them nuggets on us today.
Beautiful gems.
Yes, those were great gems that we definitely appreciate, and we know that our followers are going to appreciate. Yes. And I told him I was gonna bring you on. Now I told him I was gonna bring you on. You know, she did amazing. I would definitely appreciate the time that you took out for us. And we appreciate you guys for coming in and waiting for us. Thank you for understanding life happens, but we are here. Yes. We are going to continue this journey, not only within ourselves, but with you guys coming in and commenting and viewing us. So we appreciate it.
Yes.
Another one. We did it. Yes. So until next time, you guys already know what to do. Make sure that you go down here, you subscribe for us, share all of this, follow our Instagram, Growing with the Greens 21. We always are dropping nuggets on there that you guys could take throughout the weeks until you see us again. Yes. And once again, thank you to Mama Cindy.
Thank you, Mama Cindy.
She's been amazing. We appreciate that time. So until next time, y'all already know what it is. Growing with the Greens. Hey.